Hi Virgo, welcome to your love reading for March 2017. We are working with two decks again, so let's go ahead and begin. This is going to be for confirmation. We'll get to that in a minute, but first let's get 9 cards for you from this deck. And this is a love reading for the sign of Virgo for March 2017. The first card that you have, Virgo, is the Four of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Virgo, March 2017. The Chariot. Love reading for Virgo, March 2017. The Eight of Cups. Love reading for Virgo, March 2017. Knight of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Virgo, March 2017. Ten of Swords. Love reading for Virgo, March 2017. Knight of Pentacles. Love reading for March. Virgo, March 2017. King of Swords. Love reading for Virgo, March 2017. Three of Pentacles. Love reading for Virgo, March 2017. We have the Ace of Wands. So the card at the bottom of the deck is going to represent the main energy around your love life for the month of March, and you have the Ace of Pentacles. So the Ace of Pentacles, this is new beginnings for you. This can be a new relationship, a fresh start with your current partner, and we'll see how this ties in with the rest of the reading. Okay, so let's take it one card at a time. You start off with the Four of Cups. So this has come up for a lot of the other signs. In fact, just looking at the reading, there's a lot of repeating cards from the other signs. So it seems like it's just like a universal energy right now. The Four of Cups does represent feeling unhappy, feeling unfulfilled, feeling like something's missing from your relationship. For those who are already coupled, you feel like you can't quite put your finger on it, but you're not as happy as you thought you would be, or as happy as you used to be. So I feel like for some of you, there's a loud message in this reading that it's time to kind of do something about that. You also have the Chariot. So the Chariot, this is a card of victory. It's a major arcana. This is telling you that you have work to do. But this is something where you have to take the reins and you have to take action. You have two knights here. The knights represent change and movement, and you have two of them with the Ten of Swords right in the middle. So basically, like, you have three cards here that are kind of pushing you to take action in some way. And I feel like for a lot of you, because of what I see right here, they're pushing you to take action where you are no longer happy, because these are very kind of unhappy energies, and this is you taking charge. This is you taking the lead. This is you taking responsibility for your life and creating the reality that you want. The Chariot is all about success and victory, because you have really been persistent and determined to get what you want. And I feel like somebody here is not getting what they want. You're settling in some way. You feel bored with your love life. You feel bored with your relationship. You're just kind of like blah, whatever. It's like going through the motions. It's time to do something about that. You also have the Eight of Cups. So again, this card has been coming up for a lot of the other signs. I guess it's just, like I said, a universal energy. This is a message of walking away. So somebody might be feeling like, I'm not happy here, and I see that, in the Four of Cups. Maybe I should look for happiness elsewhere. And this card comes up, as a message that you have every right to look for happiness elsewhere. This could be that you are saying goodbye to a relationship that is not fulfilling you anymore. A relationship that is just bringing you nothing but grief, nothing but misery. It's not going to apply to everyone, but I do see that in these three cards, and I see you taking action. Like, I've already, I've put up with enough, I'm not happy, and it's like you're looking in a different direction. Even for those who are single, It's like, you know, you're unhappily single. You're watching everyone else be with family and enjoy their children and family get-togethers. And you're starting to feel like, you know, it's time to take action. It's time to start dating again. It's time to be in a relationship. And I feel like for those who are single, you're kind of saying goodbye to the old you, maybe to emotional baggage that you've been carrying around, unforgiveness, pain, and you're finally just walking away from that and finally, you know, getting back out there and dating. You do have the Ace of Pentacles as the main energy, telling you that if you're even looking, if you're even trying to find a romantic partner in the month of March, you can succeed, because the Ace of Pentacles is an energy where you just get really lucky. I mean, it's kind of like the Wheel of Fortune, except this is, you know, an ace. This represents something really amazing just kind of falling into your lap. But I feel like I must say that you have to at least try. You do have the Three of Pentacles, which is a card of hard effort. You have to at least try and get what you want. And that is repeated by the Chariot. Okay, so next row here, two knights. Knight of Wands, Knight of Pentacles. Remember, knights represent change and movement, with the Ten of Swords right in the middle. So first, let's talk about the Ten of Swords. This means that something, you know, has ended. And it's, you know, interesting that this message is here when you also have the Eight of Cups, saying that somebody feels like walking away. Somebody feels like looking for happiness elsewhere. Somebody feels like they're no longer getting that happiness that they used to receive from a relationship. And I see that again here at the Four of Cups, feeling unfulfilled. For some of you, not everyone, the message could be that, you know, it's time to move on. And it's time for you to pick yourself up. You know, this card is kind of depicted accurately because this card represents you have hit kind of like, you know, rock bottom, and you feel like you can't recover from this. Or some of you, it could be that you're recovering from a breakup. You've been down, you've been in a dark place, and this is saying, do something about it. It's finally time to move on. And I feel like the silly faces that you see here, this represents like your human ego, like your ego basically reminding you of what happened and what caused all this sadness. You know, for some of you, the sadness may not be your current partner. It could be that it's someone from the past, somebody that broke your heart. But this is a message that something has ended and you can move on now. It's safe for you to move on. And it's time for you to move on. And like I said, two cards that represent change and movement. You have the Knight of Wands, which represents you being really determined and fiery. This is the suit of fire and spirit. Very passionate about finally, you know, creating movement in your love life. And for those who are coupled, it could be that you're finally determined to get out of this energy of the Four of Cups and the Eight of Cups, where you're not happy with something going on in your existing relationship. Or if you're single and unhappily single, or you were betrayed, so you can't trust anymore and you feel like you can't move on, this is you feeling like, okay, now I'm ready. The Knight of Wands is very kind of assertive, restless energy of, I'm going to go out there and this is what I'm going to do. So I feel like a lot of you, especially those who are single, you have to set goals when it comes to finally moving on with your life, especially with the Ten of Swords here. But this is a message that you have to take action. There's something that you have to do, and it's going to be different for everyone. Again, it's being repeated by the Chariot. Something big can change in your love life, but you are the key to making this happen. Yes, you have this energy here telling you that something can just land in your lap. But I feel, because of the messages that I see here, the Chariot, the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, you have to get the ball rolling in some way. You have to do something. And like I said, for everyone, it's going to be something different. But this is very fiery energy of taking charge, of creating movement, of being really passionate about moving on from this energy here. You also have the Knight of Pentacles. And this is kind of like an opposite energy from this one, because the Knight of Pentacles represents slow progress, slow movement. I even kind of feel like it's a choice, because these are opposite energies. You're either going to say no more to this, cross it out, exit out. I'm going to X out of this misery. I'm going to pick myself up and I'm going to walk away. I'm going to, you know, find somebody new. I see that here and here. Or you're going to stay on the ground suffering. And of course, that's where the Knight of Pentacles comes in, where you eventually you will get to where you need to get. Everyone will. But it will take time until you come around. This must, like I said, this does not mean that everyone's kind of walking away from their relationship, but I feel like for those where you're determined to save your relationship, there's something where you have to take action to maybe bring up how you're feeling, to bring an end to this bad cycle in the relationship and move on together as a couple. Now down here you have a court card. You have the King of Swords. So this is someone who's an air sign, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. The King of Swords is right next to the Three of Pentacles. To me, this is a card of hard work and effort. And in a love reading, this means that you're trying really hard. You're trying really hard. And I feel like for some of you, the King of Swords could be your partner. This could be your partner where you're trying everything that you can to make this relationship work, to heal this relationship, especially with something like the Ace of Wands right next to it. Because this represents a clean slate. And with messages like the Four of Cups, the Eight of Cups, the Ten of Swords, my goodness, you need a clean slate with all of that. So this represents, like, let's start over. Let's leave the past in the past. So I feel like some of you will be doing that where it's possible, where you know that, you're committed to each other. Yes, you have been going through something difficult. You've not been happy. But I still get there's a lot of movement that you have to get the ball rolling in some way. It's like it's all over this reading. It's all over this reading that you have to take action to have this new beginning. This is an entirely fresh start for your relationship. This can also be for those who are single, that there is an air sign. You are an earth sign. There's an air sign that's very significant to you. There's an air sign that can be, this blessing that I see here in the Ace of Pentacles that can make you very happy. You have to at least try, though, to be on that path so that you can find this person. You're not going to find them if you're dwelling in this energy here, if you're on the ground thinking about that ex that walked away. Or for those who are in a relationship where you're no longer happy and you know that it's not something you want to work on, this can be someone that's on the horizon for you. If you're able to kind of break away and look for this new beginning, because you do have two new beginnings here, the main energy and then the Ace of Wands. I feel like for those of you where you're starting over with someone else, this will be an entirely different experience for you, like a night and day difference. Like this person, this King of Swords, male or female, is the complete opposite of what your current partner is. So if you've been really unhappy with your current partner, the new person brings in nothing but happiness and joy. Okay, let's see what other messages come up for you from this deck. What other messages are there for the sign of Virgo, March 2017? Queen of Cups. Other messages for the sign of Virgo, March 2017. Lovers. Love reading for the sign of Virgo, March 2017. Wow. So they're really kind of also pointing you in the direction of a water sign. Especially, these are all, the Queen of Cups, this energy here, this is someone who's a water sign, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. A water sign, it's like they say, explore your options. Explore your options. You don't have to settle where you're unfulfilled, you're miserable, you feel like, is there anyone else out there for me? Yes, I see them right here. There's an air sign for some of you. For others, there's a water sign that can bring a lot of happiness. And this Queen of Cups came with a Lover's card. So this is someone who can turn out to be your life partner. Your life partner is the person that you spend the rest of your life with. This is a committed relationship. This can be someone that you have children with. This is someone that you spend many years of your life with. And, this also came out with the Ace of Cups. So it's like Spirit just screamed at you. Water sign. The Ace of Cups represents a new relationship. Yes, it can also represent rekindling a relationship, especially if for those of you where your partner is a water sign, then this is for you. or they're, you know, if they kind of are in that energy of of a water sign, someone that's very open-hearted, loving, gentle, intuitive, then this is for you. But the Ace of Cups, this is a new beginning. This is, like I said, I feel like new people coming into your life are completely different than the people that you're either dating or been involved with. There's a night and day difference. This is also just a lot of happiness. So I feel like for those of you where you meet a water sign, you will be more than happy. This is kind of like your dream partner. Okay, let's see what other messages this deck has for you. What other messages are there for the sign of Virgo, March 2017? Queen of Wands. So there's a lot of people around you. Love reading for the sign of Virgo, March 2017. Seven of Wands. Love reading, sign of Virgo, March 2017. Eight of Swords. At the bottom of this deck, you have the Chariot again. So the Chariot is a repeating card. You already have that right here. When they come up twice, this is a loud message for you. And like I said, you already have a loud message of do something. Do something. Especially, like I said, with the Chariot being here, and then the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles. And now you have the Chariot 2 times. It's like, you know, the universe is telling you, hey, Virgo, do something. Do something about your love life. Do something about your relationship. This is guaranteeing you a victory. Whatever it is that you put effort into, wherever it is that you at least try, you lift a finger, you will get your, you know, your outcome that you want. So it's here 2 times. So interesting. You will see change and movement in your love life if you take action. The time for action. So you have another court card here. You have a fire sign. Male or female, sun, moon, or rising. Again, for some of you, there's court cards kind of like all over the place here. You have a water sign, you have an air sign, now you have a fire sign. For some of you, this can be a romantic partner. And I feel like this is especially true for those who are already coupled. Because, I mean, look at the energies that came out with it. The Seven of Wands, the Eight of Swords. The Seven of Wands, this is a very confrontational energy. This means that you have to stand your ground with this person. And usually with a fire sign, they can be very kind of like dominant and assertive. They have a lot of willpower and personal power, and they usually get their way. This means that you can't shy away from speaking up. You can't just bow your head. This means you have to stand your ground. And this could be that, you know, for some of you, this is what you're dealing with. This is what's making you unhappy, is that there is a fire sign where you really, you know, you have to lay down the law and say no more. And for some of you, you know, this has to come to an end. But I feel like some of you, you may feel like you can't. You have the Eight of Swords. This is a card of feeling stuck. This is a card of feeling like you're unable to move away. You're unable to make a different decision. This is being stuck. But you're stuck in this situation purely out of fear. And this definitely makes sense, seeing these 3 cards. Just like these 3 cards were crystal clear to me, that a water sign brings you, you know, a long-term relationship, if not marriage. And, you know, an entirely different experience when it comes to love. Like you've never experienced love like this. At the same time, these 3 cards are telling a different story, but I feel like they all go together as well. There's a fire sign around you where you really need to speak up for yourself and say, you know, stop pushing me. Stop walking all over me. You need to have a voice here. And I feel like many of you, like, usually with the Seven of Wands, you're afraid to speak up for yourself. You're intimidated. Like I said, that would make sense with a fire sign because they are so fiery. And they can be really loud. So you also have the Eight of Swords, like I said, and this is you feeling like, I can't do anything about the situation. But keep in mind how much movement you have in this reading. Like I said, if you take anything from this reading at all, take the word movement, because I see it all over this reading. I mean, the Chariot, as it is even before before I pulled from the second deck, I was already amazed that you had the Chariot, the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles. That was a clear message. And then I noticed the Three of Pentacles, which means, hey, at least try. You have to put in some effort. And then the Chariot comes up again. So I feel like there's a lot of movement and a lot of change that has to happen. But you're the one that gets the ball rolling. You're the one that takes action. Okay, Virgo, this has been your love reading for March 2017. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will speak to you again next month.